You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva. Good morning.
Good morning, Brooke Silva. You know what?
Why?
This is my favorite time of the year.
And
you know what?
I'm pretty sure you have told me you're hibernating now.
It's not because of the holidays. It's not because of the snow on the ground. And I am hibernating because this is my favorite time of the year. I have an excuse not to go outside. It's snowy. It's too cold. I don't wanna.
It hurts to breathe here in the winter.
Right? So yeah. But what it's my favorite time of the year for is we spend October and November business planning for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And December is when people take their foot off the gas.
Oh, so what you're saying is you claim your unfair share?
I do. I'm like, all right. Because here's the really cool thing about life is we get to pick and choose what we do with our time because we got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can go sit and binge watch your favorite Christmas shows or holiday shows or whatever it is you do in the winter. Or you could strategically plan your day.
So what you're saying is lots of agents take their foot off the gas right now because there's nothing they can close?
I worked so hard this year. I'm just going to take the month of December off.
I don't think I've ever had a month off in my life unless it was because I was on maternity leave, and that was not a vacation.
And even when I was on maternity leave, like I had the choice of staying home and being a stay-at-home mom or going back to work. And I was like, peace out. 4-6 weeks, I was ready to go.
I am stay-at-home parents are saints and miracle workers.
Yeah.
And my personality is not one of that. So I give all those people kudos. So let's talk about our affirmation today.
So our affirmation is I trust the process. I trust my process.
Mine. And here's what's going to happen. Our friends who may be newer agents or who are coming off of dual career and into full-time are looking around the office and they're like, it's dead. Mm-hmm. Nobody's here. And that's somebody else's process, not yours, because your business only moves forwards or backwards with stuff you do. Same for the person that's not in their office there. And just because you don't see them doesn't mean they are not working. COVID was amazing for some, and they set up, I've seen some gorgeous office setups in their homes, or they're at other brokerages that you may not see, or business centers working if it's closer to their home. So you have to be very careful about blinders on and keep looking at your mountain and your goals and not be forced through the peer pressure of, well, if nobody else is coming into the office, I'm not. What if you started a momentum? Mm-hmm. Simon Sinek, when he did a TED Talk, had this great video, and it was somebody running downhill by themselves. And then all of a sudden, somebody got up and started dancing and running with them, and then another person. And soon you have this entire movement of people. They didn't know why they were dancing or running around down this big old hill. And then you saw a couple of people straggle in at the end who are what we consider our laggards. But it was such a great visual representation of it just takes one person to make a small change. And taking your foot off the gas right now and putting it on the brake is not the best thing to do.
Well, let's just talk about the logical side of that, right? So in our industry, what we do today, we don't get paid and we don't see the results today.
Right.
When do we see the results?
90 days, 6 months, a year. It's called nurture for a reason.
So even if you had somebody that said, I want to sell my house today, realistically, it's going to take you at least 5 to 10 days to put it on the market if they're ready to go today, just to get that piece of, and then there's the marketing, and then there's the going under contract, and then there's getting ready for closing. So it's not going to close until January, February anyway. So if they take their foot off the gas pedal and they take December off and they don't have any business in the pipeline, when are they going to get their first paycheck again?
January, February, March,
right?
Maybe.
Well, and I think that's the blessing of working at a company like Keller Williams, is there's a way to have the best of both.
Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. You were frozen for a second. There is a way to have the best of both worlds.
We have our technology.
Yeah.
Which allows us to put things on a system and a process that we don't have to pay attention to. Right? It just happens. And so if you do want to take time off, you can.
You can. And there are so many studies about expectations, setting expectations and taking time off. Because when people find out you're in real estate and that you have a weekend off, they're like, oh, your business must be awful. Like, they don't assume the other way, that you are so organized, that you are so systematized, and you're following the models that you can take a day off to be with your family. That was the hardest thing for my husband to wrap his head around, being someone who's been in a union almost his entire career, that when he got into real estate, he really struggled with, why do these people want to see homes at night? I'm like, because they work during the day. You're off. I'm not off. Like, what do you think? Like, and then he was like, well, when I'm home, it's my time. And I was like, okay, so when are you going to do real estate? Like, we had to really help him manage his own expectations of, what does it mean to be at home? What does it mean to own your own business? And when you're not at work, you know, on an ambulance or fire truck or whatever it was it showed me parts of the human brain for that world. And it's wonderful, because the police, the fire, nurses, doctors, EMS workers, first responders that come over to our world, they're fantastic. They're so disciplined usually in what they do. And they're so excited to not be doing what they were doing. Many of them retire into this world. I love working with them. And
they have the service heart.
They really do have the service heart, or they're not as scared of door knocking. Most of my cops.
It's not this though. Bang,
no,
bang.
I always had to say, I remember being in a coaching room and we were practicing door knocking, because we actually do practice door knocking when I was at the market center, and what to do, body language, step back, how are you presented, all these things. And he went right up to the door with his fist like this, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, no, not this, knock, knock, knock. And he was like, whoa, I have been doing this for 20 years. That is going to be difficult.
Right?
And I was like, yeah, I know, but boom, boom, boom versus knock, knock, knock is a very different thing.
I love it.
I got to tell you too, some of my police professionals that got into this business were dual career, and they hustled. And during the break, when everybody was taking their foot off the pedal, their break, he was in the market center. He knew he wanted to retire and be out of it, because he didn't want to do another 72 or detail or not be around for the holidays. So he hustled, and he picked up every phone shift that he could in the market center to try to get a buyer or seller. He would sit at the front desk. He would do all the things, because he knew by this time next year, he didn't want to be working the 2 jobs, and he did it, and he's fantastic. And I've interviewed him. I'm so proud of him. But yeah, boom, boom, boom versus knock, knock, knock.
Well, and where we get in trouble is we have that mindset of we're supposed to work 24/7. And we carry this guilt. Not everybody, but it starts out that way.
Do you know what I call it?
What?
Corporate TSD. I talk about it when we teach 6 personal perspectives. There are things where I still will panic and text people if I'm running 3 minutes late. And that is not healthy.
Right. Because at the end of the day, the one blessing of working this business is we are business owners. We do run our own businesses. We get to make the choices of how we run the business.
Mm-hmm.
And what's our first exercise before the year even starts? What's the first thing we block off on our calendars?
Well, besides numbers.
Vacation days.
Yep.
Right.
And how many do they suggest we take?
Well, I mean, my philosophy is 1 a quarter.
Right. And a weekend.
Yeah.
And that's really hard for our business owners. And the reason December becomes the month where they take all this time off of, it's not always for not wanting the business. It's because they're fried and burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've had a whole year of where they don't stop.
Right.
Do we see them out doing things? Absolutely. Are they at soccer games or scouts or doing all these great things? Yes. But what you don't see is the time before or after and the weekends, because we pour all in.
Well, and it's the reactive thing. I was on the call with one of my coaching clients, and he says to me, I really want to take this week off. I was like, take it off. Right. But here's the deal. If you're going to take this week off, there's no guilt. You're completely off. If there's any business that you need to take care of, who are you going to assign it to? And then there's no guilt. There's no guilt. There's really no guilt, because we are our worst enemy when it comes to the guilt.
Guilt is such a, and it's funny, I think certain demographics of people feel it a little different, especially depending on the background they come from. Like the guilt I have for even taking like an extended lunch break to do an errand, having an appointment, like why? I think I was in corporate for so long where all my moves were tracked. I lived in the Salesforce world where like it tracked mouse movements. It tracked like, are you logged in? Even though I'm at work and they can see me doing things. It was very micromanaging. And I think it's going to take me a very long time to like I catch myself doing those things and I'm like, oh, come on, Brooke. Like you know that. But, and it's funny because my big anxiety piece, the only thing that makes me anxious is being late. I cannot stand being late. So you see me outside Market Center, half hour, 45 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. That's
You're earlier than I am, and I hate being late. Yeah. I think there's a competition going on here. Who could be the earliest?
And it's funny because I'm never late. So rare, truly late, but I'm late based on my own schedule.
Right.
And that's what drives me insane. So
as we're planning for 2023 and we're looking at this December, look at December. What are the family obligations you have? When are you going to do your holiday meetups? When are you going to give gratitude? When are you going to do all that stuff? And then the other time, how can you make 2023 the best first quarter that you've had ever? What steps are you going to take today? Who are you going to talk to? What systems are you going to put into place?
And if you don't have those goals somewhere where you can see them every day, no matter where you are, you need to have those. So my action for you guys is going to get your goals, no matter how big, put them in there, put them in command, put them in your systems, put them somewhere you can see no matter where you are on the road, and you could, like, have them somewhere. Because as you add activities to your database or your systems and software, it's going to update those goals and start to show you where you are. And sometimes that small piece is just enough to help you continue the momentum towards your goals. Also, put those blinders on, friends. Don't look around at what others are doing, because their actions have no bearing on your business. Only your actions have bearing on your business.
Right. And you're the only one that has that big goal. So as we look to December and what it's going to look like, what is success in the first quarter?
Right. What is success in the first quarter? So that way you can take that time off and not worry about December and taking December off and continuing to keep a pipeline full.
Right. And we talk about pipeline. If your goal in the first quarter is to do 4 transactions, 5 transactions, have 18 to 25 people in your pipeline thinking about real estate. That will make you feel so much better as you're sitting down with family watching.
Uh-oh, Tiffany's frozen. All right, friends. Well, Tiffany's having some internet woes, so I think you've got the gist of what we were saying. She's back, but don't take your foot off the pedal.
Now,
Oh, there she goes. All right, friends. We will talk to you on the next day.